The Hedgeless Horseman here. It's December the 15th, 2022. There's been a few news releases out today. First one I want to touch on today is Eskay mining. Finally, the first results came out from the 2022 drill campaign, and the results were underwhelming for sure. The assay results, and this is going to be a big distinction here. The assay results from these holes that we've had out now, they are underwhelming. I expected more, actually. The thing is that, like, what people always forget, and I say this all the time, the most important news, in my opinion, in a news release is not what it says about what has happened, but what it might tell about the next 10 to 20 news releases. Basically the context overall. But everybody, of course, buys and sells typically on assay results. And the assay results were underwhelming, and the reaction was brutal. I think it was down 35% or something. At one point in time, there's a bunch of schadenfreude, a bunch of trolling, a bunch of I told you so, a bunch of hindsight investors, and you know the typical stuff you see in a bear market when almost everybody's hurting. So it's like typically that's when people like to hurt others, if you know what I mean. Because misery loves company, and everybody wants to feel smart by pointing out how quote stupid everyone else is, obviously. There were a few pops and whistles, 15.8 grams per ton over 1.59 meters, 8.65 over 1.75, 11 over 0.6, 4.76 over 2, 1.53 over 30, 3.25 over 5.65. So I mean, you kind of knew that there's no way they're gonna hit bullseyes, or almost no way. I mean, if they did that, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, given they did, as you can see here, very wide step. I mean, you can see what they drilled before. I mean, look at the spacing of these. I mean, when you know already where some good mineralization is, I mean, you take small steps, whatever. This season was about swinging for the fences. They did the shotgun approach across many kilometers, right? As you can see, and since assay labs are so goddamn slow, they had no assay results to go by. I mean, look at this, for example here, and this is again in terms of context. 1.09 grams per ton AU equivalent over 44 meters. I mean, this is obviously a significant result. It looks like it's very near surface. I doubt there's any drilling close to this. Yes, we see a hole here, for example, but we don't have the 3D. And they've kind of, lined up. Okay, here hit something. Okay, there's something there. Here there might be, a horizon here. But none of these horizons were actually, I mean, if they hit this and had the assays and didn't go for the shotgun approach, like to try in one fell swoop, like if we get lucky and we actually hit a continuous mineralization across I don't know how many kilometers, I mean they basically would have de-risked a monster immediately. That was the hope. So it was a big bet, high risk, high reward play. Otherwise they could, pretty much just kept on drilling the low-hanging fruit, obviously. So again, it's like, I understood what they were doing, and I liked it. Because Eskay, if they would have hit on a bunch of holes and the mineralization would have been really good, nobody would complaining. Nobody would be complaining. We only see the results, and now, of course, it's easy to, in hindsight, yada yada, to throw stones, whatever. But obviously there's something here. This is, again, like one could say wildcat exploration or grassroots exploration. Yes, they had soil samples and some CSAMT, but I don't think there's been any drilling here. And it's not easy to hit the sweet spot of a Eskay Creek deposit, for example. I mean, it took 109 holes to make the Eskay Creek discovery, and that was a very, very small deposit. this is not 109 holes. This is not 109 holes. And this is not 109 holes. So just think about it. I mean, it took 109 holes to find a small deposit, and now they use the shotgun approach. So typically, because I really like John the Decker, for example, and the team is super smart, and again, they have to do a lot of context thing because they don't have real-time assays while they're actually drilling. So I always immediately okay, I know because how they do the news releases, or that they are typically meaty. The most important things, I think, especially, I mean, if they made some barn burner results, let's say, I mean, that would probably be the highlight. But in my opinion, with the Eskay mining and any, especially district scale play, where there's a bunch of targets and they're still trying to figure out where everything goes, etc. Because I mean, this district has been pretty much untouched for decades, and there's been a few holes into some of these prospects. So it's like I knew, okay, it's gonna be the commentary from John the Decker et al. That's gonna be the important thing. Widely spaced fences or drill holes, approximately 300 meters apart. Again, that's those are huge step outs. And it would be obviously very easy to just, if they wanted to only have, let's say, I was gonna say, good results, I mean, they wouldn't really step out. They would obviously just drill where they already know there's mineralization. So this was a swing for the fences. Or was it? Assays are still pending for additional drill holes that encounter sulfide-bearing stockwork in areas north from TV 2297. I think that is actually, is that I should go back and look, because again, there's a bunch of clues here. Okay, TV 2297. I'm not 100% sure if that's okay. TV 22 97. Okay, this is okay. 1.53 over 30.56 meters in hole. Okay, so where was I reading it just now? Anyway, I mean, okay, we know there's gonna be more holes north of TV 2297, and this was a respectable hit. Obviously, like 50 gram per ton, or 45 gram meters. And this was, I think, TV 20 meter north of the hole. I think this was the barn burner. One of the really good holes from last year. Okay, this wasn't a barn burner, still a robust hole. I have no idea what the other holes around this are gonna say. In an area approximately 800 meters north of Jeff, 3 widely spaced drill holes. Again, it's like, given our early stage, if they find something that could be worked on, and that's what I mean. It's like, what is the context here? This has no drilling around it. This is just one ploop wildcat hole, 45 gram meters. Okay, maybe there's something going on here. Maybe this, there's something going on here. And maybe this is some kind of horizon, whatever. It's like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, hitting anything on wildcat holing like this. I mean, yes, the blue sky was that they would just, it would be easy to just boom, 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 boom. You have a clear trend, but we have multiple horizons, etc. So that's going to be quite hard to do. And here we have, is this the okay, zinc? Okay, might be something here, for example. I mean, the important thing is this is very early stage. And they have a bunch of other contexts that they think that I think this trend might connect with the Excelsior Eskay rhyolite at Excelsior, that these might actually connect, be of the same age package. I have to go back and reread that actually. But we have no results yet from the Scarlet Tarn Lake trend. I think, what are we actually waiting for? We're waiting for. We firmly believe the potential of the consolidated Eskay project to deliver. I mean, there's no way you can kill this many targets or 10 multi-kilometer trends by the holes that have been done this year. There's I mean, there's no way this this does absolutely not put a nail in the coffin for this district. Yeah, set up focus on identifying new precious metals rich VMS systems and the style of mineral deposit customer found in this scale clusters. Our geological team has advanced the goal by making several new discoveries along the TV-Jeff corridor on the eastern limb of the Eskay anticline, but now they see compelling evidence that the TV-Jeff connects with Sib Lulu located in the western limb of the anticline across a geological bridge at Hexagon Mercury. Here's Hexagon Mercury. So basically they think this kind of connects. I guess that is, the ship samples here. I mean, it's trending towards that way. I think that is what is suggested here. Virginia Lakes, this target here. And here you have helipads, and here you can see this basically branching off here. So again, I mean, there's a lot more to be tested here, and even within the TV-Jeff trend, there's still stuff to follow up. I mean, again, this is just the first hole in this area. This might grow. This might come together. It might, who knows, expand this way, or I mean, there's so many stratigraphical units where they found mineralization. So it's again, it's like you can't possibly test everything doing these kind of wildcat step out holes. And let's go with John de Decker. Where are his comments? Our 2022 program has shown the TV-Jeff are components of a larger trend of VMS mineralization extending at least 3.5 kilometers along strike along the eastern flank of the Eskay anticline. VMS mineralization continues at least 1.3 kilometers north of the Jeff deposit, some of which is polymetallic in character. Precious metal grades are strongly anomalous in 3 holes completed in an area approximately 800 meters north of Jeff, representing discovery of a new precious metal bearing VMS system called Jeff North, which displays significant room to grow. Drilling at TV has expanded the zone of massive sulfide mineralization discovered in 2021 northwards by nearly 100 meters. Sure, that's not, the biggest leap. More assays from this exciting area have yet to return. With our boots on the ground approach to exploration, we are now seeing a clear picture emerge where long trends of VMS mineralization along both the eastern and western limbs on the Eskay anticline are geologically connected to the world-class Eskay Creek mine. We are eager to expand our exploration work in these new areas in 2023. In the meantime, we anxiously await assays from maiden drilling in the Scarlet Valley Tarn Lake area, where several new VMS occurrences were drilled in 2022. Again, the context. I mean, people who panic sell today because they think this story is over. No, the assay results were underwhelming, but these were long shots, or this was a very ambitious campaign. But like John de Decker says, I mean, they might have made new discoveries here. I mean, obviously this doesn't fall out of the sky, for example. And here, I mean, these are not superb results at all. But it's like, there's a lot of smoke here, obviously. And we know what TV and Jeff can produce. I mean, they produced 100 gram meter holes. And I don't think, given that they're, the soil anomalies, etc., are like multi-kilometer long, or the Bleg sample anomalies are multi-kilometers long. There's no way they've tested all of this. But that is the tricky part with VMS, of course, because again, the Eskay Creek deposit was just 1 kilometer long, narrow, and it took 109 holes to actually make that discovery. So up to hole 108, everybody would have, this is a waste of time, obviously, like they're doing now in the forum. But it's like, again, there's only a small percentage of people who actually can beat the market. And I ask myself, okay, if given we're down to 135 million Canadian. Okay, they will do a raise, of course. Let's say it's 150 million to account for dilution. I don't know, it might be more, or we might go lower. It's like, I don't know about that, but 150 million, okay. That's not pricing in much, obviously. I mean, the Eskay Creek would be worth multiple billions today. Okay, so there's very low chance. If you divide the market cap with every target that is here, there's like almost no chance that an Eskay Creek type, or even something similar, or even a Skeena type deposit will be found at any of these targets. That's what Mr. Market is pricing in right now, that you won't find a Skeena type deposit. You will certainly not find an Eskay Creek type deposit at any of these prospects and targets. And TV will not grow, and Jeff will not grow, and Jeff North was a one-off, yada yada yada, and this trend will, they will come up with nothing here. I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe that to be the case at all. I think they will figure this district out, and I think there will be more discoveries coming from Eskay mining. And again, if we just fast forward, okay, the next 12 months, okay, we're at 130 million now, let's say 150 with dilution, because we know there's going to be a raise, or at least I hope there will be a raise, so they can do more exploration work. What might the rest of the assays show? What if they find something of significance in any of the holes drilled up here? What if they have at least one barn burner hole? And again, given how early stage exploration is here, which we learned from the Kennerland study, even like if you have 100 gram meter or I think it is 134 gram meter intercepts within the first 10,000 meters on a target, that is significant. They haven't drilled 10,000 meters here. And these new targets, they haven't drilled 10,000 meters at Jeff North. So the earlier stage the results are, the more material any good hits are. So I'm not ruling out that, what we've had just now was perhaps the worst part of the assay, of all the assays from this season. So okay, again, play the tape forward a bit. What happens when sentiment is this bad and the valuation has gone down this much, while the story is long from over, let's say, and they're actually finding new stuff and new targets, and they're preparing helipads to drill here, helipads to drill here, they think this connects, yada yada yada. Mineralization continues, and they've already had, where they have drilled so far, they've already had, let's say, sniffs of stuff. And obviously these can probably grow. And as well for TV, I think TV can drill. I mean, this was, okay, this was hole 97. I guess this has yet to be assayed. I guess this has yet to be assayed. Here there's a pop and whistle. I don't know what the actual assays are here, but here there's drilling here, obviously. So are there risks to the upside? I think so. I think so. But it's still like this is a high risk, high reward play. In time, I think they will really find something. And again, the volatility we're seeing is like, okay, Eskay got slaughtered today after having already gone down. Okay, what did I do? I actually bought some today when everybody is saying, basically that this whole thing is over, because I don't actually think many people have even read the news release and certainly can't grasp everything that's been said. I mean, I have a hard time grasping everything, and that's why I hope John De Decker and Quinton will help explain again the context. What's the context of these assays? What does it all mean? Yada yada yada. And in the meantime, I just know that typically the first reactions, or I think, I like Eskay much more at 130 million after these assay results and the context in the news release than when it was at 226. Because nothing really changed in between except price went down. And today price went down even further, a lot. High volume, a lot. I'm assuming a lot of people are throwing in the towel, even more reason for tax loss selling, yada yada. More people are in the red, so they can actually take tax loss selling. And again, maybe some hot money who thought, well, there's a chance that these assets will be good, etc. I mean, get rich tomorrow, people. But I guess I have to run soon. But I think, to me, I'm waiting to hear more about what this news release means and what they've figured out and discovered, etc., and the context of these holes, what this hit suggests, etc., from Quinton and De Decker et al. And for sure, again, I think there's a possibility they'll make a discovery here. I mean, one good hole in this trend, for example, might signal something because it's so early stage. If they hit even, I don't know, like I said, I think last pod or last time I talked about Eskay, if they hit even 40 meters or 1.5 gram in one of these holes, given again how early stage it is, that is a significant result. Even though the market might not care at all, because like we see what happened today. But what it says is that there might be something more there. Like this lonely hit here suggests there might be something more here. And they highlight some other stuff. I mean, who knows? I mean, again, the mineralization might be 10 meters away, whatever. I mean, it's like when they drill the TV in Jeff or whatever. I mean, they have a good hole and next almost nothing. And that goes for Eskay Creek too. I mean, that was a snaky deposit basically that twisted and turned and was faulted, etc. That is not that's not easy geology. The Eskay Creek deposit, very complex geology, faulting, small size of the deposit, narrow, etc. I mean, it's like in the last 2 years or whatever that both Skina and Eskay Mining figured out, hey, there's a lower mudstone horizon and all of that. So I mean, we're like, this is still very much a system that is, or a district where the understanding of the geology is still evolving, which is described by John De Decker here, that okay, we think some horizon here actually connects to the Eskay Creek horizon. There might be a connection here, for example. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff left to find out. And if I had to bet, it's like, yeah, okay, next 12 months, do I see some potentially positive stuff happening? Yes, maybe even in the short term, given what kind of results, or depending on what kind of results we get from the Scarlet Tarn VMS trend. If they have any good holes here, that's significant, and that would be basically be a new discovery. But again, high risk, high reward stuff. This is, if this works, it could work wonders over the next years. If not, you'll lose money, or if you already down now, you'll lose even more money. But I like panic sells when I'm buying, especially if it's like way worse of a reaction, in my opinion. Then this news release is not as bad as the Mr. Market is suggesting, in my opinion. So I've actually been buying some today, and again, it's like I can never guarantee anything. I just know that I like this story more at 0.73 cents than I did at 2.26, for example, because price has gone down so much while the story has not become that much worse. That's my 2 cents. I'm biased. I own shares of Eskay Mining. They are a banner sponsor. And I don't share your profits or your losses. It's totally fine if you don't agree with me, because we don't share profits or losses anyway. But those are just my 2 quick cents, basically. So I'm sitting put. I've have some stink bids in, and some got filled, and I'm looking forward to hearing what all the geological context, which is not assay results per se, means for this story over the next 12 to 24 months. Thanks for listening. Bye.